from Crypto.com, right? I'm myself, Fredo, Cervantes. We got
DJ Trice in the building, y'all. We are very excited for the Atlanta Dream game that's about to happen right now. The fans seem to be excited, Fredo.
We got a lot of kids in here. I don't know if it's like daycare camp or whatnot, but
cheerleading teams. I mean, it's lit in crypto right now, y'all.
It's gonna be amazing tonight. Of course, we are here with your At Least March Weekly pregame show, and we got a lot to talk about, especially when we look at the Sparks having about 10 games remaining in the regular season, and we look that they are only a game and a half behind the A spot, which is held down by the Chicago Sky right now.
Yeah, and they are fighters as well.
Do you think that the Sparks actually have a chance to kind of sneak their way into the playoffs?
I absolutely think that the Sparks have a chance to sneak their way into the playoffs because there are a lot of things that are happening on other teams that we can use to our advantage. We got a nice hardship player. We've already this whole season been having hardship, so I think we're ready to weather the storm in the playoffs.
Well, I definitely hope so, and of course we've seen the tremendous work that Neka Ogumike has done, especially throughout this road trip, this 3-game road trip. The Sparks have won the last 2 games, so one in Indiana, and in the tough one, it was against who was the last? The it was the Mystics, then Indiana.
And you know what? Laisha Clarendon also has really turned up the heat, so that's why I think we have a really good chance to make the playoffs. Laisha's back healthy. She's got that energy coming through. Carly's still been shooting. Avina looks like she can actually hit some threes as well. I was just watching her in the pregame.
And Zaya as well. She's kind of turning it up after she got 0 minutes from the last home game here.
She figured it out, like Michael said.
Yeah, hopefully. And then talk about Michael's favorite, Ray Burrell.
She had some chance to step up as well.
She was, and she was out here earlier today warming up, getting some shots ready, and she's always prepared for her moment because we never really know when her moment's going to be. But there is one thing that Coach, we did get a chance to talk to Coach about. He was talking to us about his excitement coming towards late into the season. We'll go ahead and kick it off to head coach Kurt Miller talking to the media earlier today.
Hi, guys. Nikki, we're not in the hallway.
I know. Coach, 150 wins. First of all, congratulations. And what does that milestone mean to you?
I've shared on social media that milestone victories allow you to reflect. And looking back at my career, very fortunate of the head coaches that took a chance on me at multiple levels. Was not an elite college player myself and was provided an opportunity early in my career and progressed over a decade as an assistant at the Division I, and Bowling Green's administration took a huge chance on me, and very fortunate. So you reflect on the people that believed in you. Milestone victories also have you smile when you have some quiet time about all the assistant coaches that sat beside you and grinded the long hours with you. I was very fortunate to have 3 assistant coaches at the collegiate level all spend over a decade with me. My first 11 years as a head coach, I didn't have a coaching staff change. That consistency, continuity has played a huge part of my success as a head coach. Add Chris Koklanis at the pro level, and I've had 4 assistant coaches coach with me for over 8 years. So, very, very fortunate about who sat next to me. And then it's all about players. Coaches have never made a basket. They've never had a steal. They've never, done anything on the court. So very fortunate between my collegiate career and my pro career that I've had tremendous players. Blessed and honored that Connecticut took a chance on me at the pro level, that Brian Agler gave me a shot to transition into the pro game. And so to be mentioned with some of the people that have won, the 11 of us that have won 150 or more games at this level, it's humbling to be a part of that list. I pinch myself. I get to coach in the greatest league in the world for women's basketball, something that I've been passionate for 3+ decades.
Hey, Coach, back here. Prior to going on the road trip, how much of that DNP from Zaya, was there some intentionality behind that? And were there conversations prior to and or after just kind of explaining things?
Yeah, that matchup was, I felt, a tough matchup for Zaya. Explained to her after the game that didn't get her in the first half. In the third quarter, didn't find a window to play her, and now do you play Zaya for the first time in crunch time in that fourth quarter? And said, I didn't want, I elected not to put her in that situation, that she did not do anything wrong. So we just had a very honest, transparent coach-player talk. Obviously, she responded with those next two games, playing over 20 minutes a game combined, and really sparked us in what she is. Her role this year is to try to spark us off the bench, hunt for her offense, stay aggressive, and then just be a sponge with each and every opportunity in this league and all the great players that she gets to go compete against. And she really responded. Not sure if it motivated her. I'm not in her head, but really pleased with her play those next two games, coming off the decision, the first time she hadn't played in a game all year.
Hey, Coach, in that road trip, you went 2-1, and your only loss was by 2 points. Anything that stood out to you during that trip, in those games?
Fourth quarters. Obviously, in our 2 wins, we had 2 30-point fourth quarters, so we had some grit and determination and desire to get to the finish line. And again, I think some of your early disappointments in close games, some of your failures to hold a lead maybe late in the game, contributes to that. You learn so much. You have to fail in order to succeed. And so I think some of those early season disappointments really helped us stay focused all the way to the finish line and do some good things in the fourth quarter. I'm also feeling a chemistry being built. We finally have had a consistent lineup for multiple games in a row. That hadn't happened. We still, we've had 15 starting lineups in less than 30 games. So, that doesn't even equal out to 1 and 2, games. But we've had some consistent lineups now. You can feel some chemistry and continuity. You feel some roles coming off the bench where they know they're going to go in at this time and for this player. So I just feel like we're really growing. Our film sessions have turned very positive about our growth and showing where we still have areas that we can improve. So much good is coming out of the film work post games now on what we're trying to accomplish, and we're executing on both ends of the floor better, more consistent, not perfect, but more consistent. And it's been, those film sessions have been really encouraging on what this stretch has looked like for us.
Coach, the last couple matchups against the Dream resulted in losses. What did you see in the film that you want to see an improvement on today to flip that result so they can get a win in the third win in a row this year?
Yeah, they've beaten us soundly, in my opinion. They're averaging over 100 points a game, nearly 50 between Howard and Gray. They're outstanding wings. We played them both games without our starting wings not available. Howard had, a historic game against us there. So we know what they've done to us, but I'm excited about this opportunity. I think they're going to see a more complete Sparks team. I think they're going to see a great effort out of us tonight, but they are really, really difficult to guard in their dribble drive offense. Some of the scheming and philosophical approaches at the defensive end that we like to do, they don't run. They don't run some of those actions that help us scheme the way we do. So we have a challenge to slow them down. They're number 1 in the league in pace, and the pace was certainly theirs in the first 2 games. We have to control the pace. That doesn't mean we play slow, but we don't want this game in the hundreds. We can't have this game, in the 90s. We've got to find a way to disrupt them and slow them down a little bit. But I think they're going to see a better Sparks performance than they did the first 2 games in this series.
Coach, first, congratulations on the milestone. It made me reflect on a lot of those wins coming at the expense of my loss. So thank you.
That's not true. But
handful of them. When it comes to Ryan and Alicia as a combo, first, what makes them so difficult? And you guys defend from a percentage the 3-ball so well, but Ryan has kind of found her way there.
Yeah, their pace is great. They're both multiple level scorers. you get up in Ryan, she's big and physical, and now, she gets, by your hip, shoulder out in front, and she's huge, and has an uncanny ability to put the ball in the basket. Gray plays with a great motor, multiple level scorer. You sag and are too conservative, they hurt you at the arc. You get up and guard them, they go by you. Their pace is really important to them, and so they're really tough matchups. Jordan's is elite of a guard defender as in the league, but she's very small compared to both of them. She's guarded a lot of really good point guards and a lot of really good scoring twos. Ryan is all of 6'1", if not 6'2". Gray is smaller but really physical. So, we put our best, defender on a lot of these great players, and it's not as easy for Jordan to disrupt and take out some great players on this team like across the league that she has the ability defensively to do. So, big challenge ahead of us tonight. We think we have a good game plan. We'll see how it unfolds.
Hi, DeAndre Kirkpatrick from the Crenshaw Teams Media. I got a question. Coming off a game against a rookie scoring 18 points, how do you think rookies change the game or pace of the game?
One more time.
How do you think rookies change the game or pace of the game?
Yeah, our rookies, certainly Zaya is really, really important for us. As a spark off the bench and someone that hunts offense and can score. We consider Ray Burrell a rookie with her year being cut so short. Her energy is really, really important, to us. So, energizing the game.
Any other questions? Thank you, Coach.
Guys, thank you. Thanks.
And we're back here on the LA Sparks Weekly pregame show. We just got a chance to hear from head coach Kurt Miller. What have you thought about so far this season, following the Sparks for the past few seasons? Kurt Miller, what kind of team did he bring? Like, his personality is a little different from the previous head coaches. What do you think he has brought to this team this first year in LA?
I think Kurt has brought some imaginative things offensively and defensively. I think he's willing to try a lot of different things. He's been forced to try different things, of course, but he's been a good sport about it. To be honest, a lot of other coaches would have just rolled over and kept running with the same kind of plan, and Kurt is kind of rolling the dice every game. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but he's also been really accountable as well.
No, he has been, especially during that 8-game losing streak. It felt like if nothing really was working around that time, he continued to keep his players together.
That's right.
I mean, because this team could have really just lost it throughout the year, and right now they could have maybe been 13 out of the last 14 could have lost, but they kind of stepped into it. They won 2 games at home after that road trip. They won another 2 on the road, so it feels like they're kind of getting some things together. People are getting healthy. That's the most important part right there.
And I'm glad you brought up coaching, and we heard from the coach, because tonight is going to be the battle of the coaches. Tanisha Wright is the coach of the month for the WNBA, so we are expecting to see a battle of the coaches. I'm not sure who's going to come on top, but it's looking like we have an even slate, and it's going to be Kurt's strategy versus Tanisha's.
I hope so, and of course the strategy to bring in Evina Westbrook, part to her second 10-day contract hardship here with the LA Sparks. She did get a chance to talk to the media as well as Zaya Cook, and we're going to go ahead and take it to them right now.
Hello, students.
Coach mentioned the building of some chemistry coming back from this road trip. I guess, what are your guys' biggest takeaways coming back 2-1? What positive steps forward do you think the team made?
I definitely think that the chemistry is starting to get there, especially with us having a lot of our players back with no injuries, and we've had the chance to actually be on the floor together quite a few games. So I definitely think the chemistry is getting there, but it's only going to get better from here.
My question's for Zaya. Coach was just mentioning how his goal for you is to be a spark off the bench and to help generate offense. When you're coming in those moments, what kind of actions do you want to see to give yourself that opportunity to create that spark for the team?
I think the best way that I try to start being a spark is just off my defense. I try to let my defense create my offense, and just let the game come to me, not rush things when I'm out there. And if I'm able to stay out there and I'm not scoring, but I'm doing the little things to impact the game, that's good enough for me.
Zaya, Coach talked about how the last few games you've done a really good job of hunting your offense, but still being able to be within the scope of the offense. How have you been able to balance that? And then for Avina, how would you describe just the way this transition has been for you, just kind of thrown here in the mix and being able to earn another 7 day?
I think that comes with just the chemistry that we're continuing to build as a team. I'm able to find my spots, and sometimes I know like when the ball is going to come to me, and I think that just comes from us being able to play with each other and understand each other's game, and that's just where I'm at with right now.
I think it's definitely tough, kind of just hopping around, going team for team, playing in a different league, but it's all about experience, and I think I've trusted myself. I put in a lot of work, so I've never really doubted that. So any team or new teammates that I have just coming into a new environment, I've never really doubted that I can't hoop because I know that I can because I've already done the work.
For the both of you, just the biggest challenge today. Obviously, you've seen him a couple times already. Zaya, I'll start with you, and just how you guys can kind of get over that hump.
I think just looking back at some of the things we need to improve on is the transition side. I think we got to stop them in transition. And don't let them get easy buckets on us, and just stop some of their best players. I think Ryan had a crazy game the first time she played. The second time, we were able to slow that down a little bit. But just being able to stop their go-to players and just be ourselves within doing all that.
Piggybacking off of what Zaya said, definitely stopping their key players, and I think just punching first, having the first hit first. They're a very aggressive team. They draw the most fouls in the league. So just trying not to play with our hands too much, but at the same time still being aggressive. And like I said, still we got to make that first hit.
Avina, back here again. Curious, you've been in this league now 2 years. What was the experience in Mexico like, going from here to there and then now back here? How would you describe what ball is like down there?
I think just overall was really a humbling experience. Just from, laundry is just different, just so like little things like that you may take for granted in the W just because it's already done for us. Going to another league and just being like, okay, it's, I have to actually do these just little things that I wouldn't have to do before from a non-basketball standpoint. But from a basketball standpoint, they're not calling no fouls out there. So you're getting hit, you're getting beat. They're not calling anything for you. So it's definitely different. But I think it just, makes you tough. It kind of just slows the game down in your mind a little bit where you have to play more meticulous. But, yeah, I think that was probably the biggest transition. It's just, you have to play a little bit tougher than I think you would here.
Hi, this is Jesselyn Davis from the Crenshaw Teens Media. What mindset are you guys coming into the game with?
Like you just said, get the first hit. I think that's definitely the mindset we would have come in with. Just for me personally, just going out there playing my hardest, and doing whatever I can to help us win.
Hi, I'm Jesse Davis from Crenshaw YMCA Teens Media. After the first 29 games, how do you think you fit in to this Sparks team?
Wait, that's for me? Oh, damn, I didn't even hear the question because I was like, yeah. No, I didn't even hear the question. I was just gonna let her answer. What did he say?
How do you think you fit in with this new Sparks team?
Oh, I think I fit in pretty well. I think that they've all given me a warm welcome when I got here. And then just as far as us playing together, I think I fit in really well.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
I stopped listening.
Right. Before you say something, you say.
And we're back here at Crypto.com Arena for your LA Sparks Weekly pregame show. We just got a chance to hear from Zaya and Avina Westbrook. Of course, two youngsters are two on the backcourt right now. They're trying to figure it out. Of course, Zaya has kind of figured things out late in the season right now. What did you think about Zaya's Cook play over the last few games?
I think Zaya is really turning over a new leaf and becoming the guard that we thought she would be.
Right.
We didn't expect her to start her rookie season shooting a whole bunch of shots and having her percentage up. We knew that she would have to figure it out, and I think she's getting dirty now. You see her driving into the paint. You see her going in for layups. She's just not taking wild shots anymore, so I expect to see more of that from Zaya Cook.
Well, we definitely hope so. So, of course, real quick, we're going to get going. Who is your player of the game tonight? Who do you think is going to step up and steal a game here against the Atlanta Dream?
My player of the game is our LA Sparks player of the season, and that is Nneka Ogwumike, our all-star. I think she's going to step up and help us bring home that W tonight.
You did say all-star, but do you say MVP?
Of course I say MVP. I've said it on our show. She is definitely one of the top 3 players right now in the WNBA, hands down.
Definitely she is. The record of the team does not really tell you how much success and how great she's been all year long, but I think I got to go with Azurá Stevens.
Okay.
Azurá has really, I don't know what it's been, her three-point shot, she's working on it during practice, at the games, shooting a terrific percentage, so I really think that when she steps up, she extends the floor, and she just makes the right moves out there, and she battles down there. battles down there.
I'm excited to see her defense. For sure, Azurá is a defense maker.
Definitely against Howard. That is definitely going to be a tough matchup. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and kick it off to this game between the Atlanta Dream and the LA Sparks here tonight, live from the Crypto.com arena. We'll see you at the postgame show.
What's up, y'all? This is Lexi Brown with the LA Sparks, and you're watching Infanity TV.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by...
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching Infanity Television. Boom.
And we're live from the Crypto.com arena. Myself, Fredo, Cervantes. I got
DJ Trice, y'all. What's going on?
With your LA Sparks weekly post-game show after the LA Sparks took another victory here at home, winning 85-74 against the Atlanta Dream.
Yep.
And guess what, DJ? They are on a 3-game winning streak.
Three-game winning streak.
And we talked about this during the pregame show. It's like they gotta win this game. Like in order to stay in the fight, to try to get the last playoff spot, or maybe even the 7th or 6th spot. Who knows? You know. But they got a win here when it mattered the most. What did you see out on the court today?
We saw that effort. And honestly, we said it was a battle of the coaches. It was going to be Tanisha Wright against Kurt Miller, and Kurt came with that fire. I think he outcoached the Atlanta Dream, and we kind of caught them sleeping a little bit, no pun intended, with the Dream. But really, their best players didn't show up. We thought for sure Alicia Gray was going to show up and score a lot of points, but the star of the game ended up being Cheyenne Parker. And what did Kurt Miller do? He put in those bigs to come in and save us and play some more aggressive defense. So that's what I saw. What about you?
Well, I mean, I saw Jordan Canada do her thing.
Yep, she was balling.
I mean, she is just incredible, scoring 20 points tonight here, 8 assists and 2 rebounds. And, of course, guess what? Also, Jordan Canada picked up her 800 career assists.
No surprise.
It's not, because that's what she does on daily basis. She's out there moving the ball, getting her teammates involved. And, a little shout out there for UCLA. But, Jordan Canada has been on fire lately.
Yes, and also Laisha Clarendon. Laisha came in and was passing the ball. Kurt actually had to move her to the 1 so that we can get some more touches and move the ball around. The LA Sparks did exceptionally well with the ball movement today. They really got the ball around to their guards, got great shots, and we even made a difference in the paint.
Yes, and let's not forget about Zaya Cook as well. Zaya came in, she put up a few points up there, very aggressive on the defensive end, and that's something that Coach always talks about on Zaya, even though she's not maybe offensively in the game most of the times, but defensively, she's always active out there. Those hands are active, and Azrae Stevens, Dearica Hamby, even though Hamby did not score any points tonight, she did pick up 7 rebounds out there, so she was definitely rebounding the ball, but we did get a chance to talk to head coach Curt Miller just a few minutes ago here post-game, and this is what he had to say.
Big win tonight for our team. Showed a grit and determination, and most importantly, a toughness out of the locker room, outscoring them by 18 points in the second half. But was really impressed by our determination to get in the paint, get to the basket. We played with more physicality. I thought they won the first half in the physicality war. I thought we did a great job of matching and exceeding their physicality in the second half. And again, now third win in a row, but third, fourth quarter that we really had a productive fourth quarter and able us to pull away for, I think, our most complete game and biggest win of the season.
Coach, you've mentioned that a couple times now about that grit, that determination, especially with this recent 3-game win streak. In the second half there, was that kind of the turning point in the game there where, you were able to take control? Was it, what did you see that went right out there, and, on how were you able to just kind of seize control of that game?
Yeah, I thought offensively, certainly, we screened more physical. We talked a lot about our physicality of screening at halftime. So I thought there was a concerted effort not to slip, ghost out. We really wanted to be a more physical screening team. I thought that started the physicality. And then I thought we were more aggressive with our dribble, getting downhill, putting pressure on them at the rim, really earning calls at the rim instead of hoping for calls. We spent a lot of time complaining in the first half, wanting calls. We went and earned them in the second half with that. Defensively, I thought we stayed in plays. We were scheme-wise different than our first 2 matchups with them, and I thought our players really executed what we were trying to accomplish at the defensive end with an intensity and a focus of what we were trying to accomplish, who we wanted to take more shots, who we were trying to disrupt a little bit. So, complete game for us. Starters were great across the board. You look at that, all 5 with 9 or more, 4 of them in double figures. I thought our starters were terrific tonight.
Hey, Coach, DJ Trice with Infanity TV. Coach Tanisha Wright is coming off of Coach of the Month in July. Can you talk about your strategy a little bit with planning to go against a coach who's had a pretty great season so far?
Yeah, they've had a great year. She's doing a terrific job with this group. They're very dangerous. They frankly, completely outplayed us the first 2 games. We played both games without our starting wings. We're still without Lexi Brown, but, tonight we had Leisha, and she gave us a physicality at both ends, someone that really competes and takes on that role for us. We moved her to the point guard in stretches tonight. She was able to, run an efficient offense. She was able to play downhill. And, again, in a year where we've had a lot of adversity, a lot of different lineups, I believe this is accurate. I think we're 9-7 with Leisha Clarendon playing for us. So those 14 games that she missed, is a big deal to us. You know, you can do the math pretty quickly what our record is like without Leisha. But we're 9-7 with Leisha in our lineup, and she just adds so much to what we are about and what we're trying to create here culture-wise.
Hey, Coach, here, Fredo. Talk to me a little bit about, you guys allowed only 29 points in the second half, which was very important. And as well, over the last 3 games during your winning streak, you guys have played just tremendous defense on the floor. Just talk to me a little bit about the discussions you guys have been having with the players.
Yeah, we believe it's still our calling card early in this build. It's got to start at the defensive end. We have 2 terrific defenders in Jordan Canada and NECA, and a lot of really smart complementary pieces. And so I believe that you're seeing our defensive take shape. They're learning, they're growing. As I talked with many of you, our film sessions have turned very positive over the last couple weeks because there's so much positive growth at the defensive end. So we're showing a ton of areas where we've improved and we're getting better. Still, room for growth and in teaching early in a build process, but you can see it. And I feel like there's chemistry. Like I'm not sure the exact number, maybe the 4th straight game we've started the same starting lineup. I mean, there's something to be said about that group has now, settled into our starting lineup and they've played, those last 4 games as a unit. So I just think you're seeing chemistry being built with a group that's now starting to play significant minutes together.
Hey, Coach, back here. NECA obviously does a lot for this team, but what do you think of her defense against Cheyenne in that second half?
Yeah, terrific. NECA's a big-time defender, and we ask so much of her at times. There's intentional matchups that we provide to her. But tonight, because of foul trouble and how Cheyenne and they were going to her deep, we needed NECA's physicality. So we switched NECA on to Cheyenne. She didn't shy away from that matchup, and it just changed the tide. She was more physical. She deflects entry passes the best on our team. And I thought, just gave Cheyenne, it made it harder for Cheyenne. She had a terrific game, but she made it harder in the second half for them to play through Cheyenne.
More on the defensive end, Coach. You're able to limit Ryan Howard to 11 points after those 2 quick threes. Alicia Gray only had 6 shots in the game. So can you tell me more about that, please?
Yeah, again, intent to try to get people shooting the ball that we want to shoot the ball. So if you can get certain players to take more shots and other players to take less shots, you see the trend. Coming from Indiana, we got a player off the bench to take the most shots on the team. If you can keep Gray's shots down at 6, that's a huge accomplishment. I thought we did a absolute fantastic job on Howard after those 2 early threes. Really made her work. Only 3 baskets the rest of the way. I would say that's probably 35 minutes of game time that she only had, 3 baskets the rest of the way. So, hats off. It's a big home win for us.
Hi, DeAndre Kirkpatrick from Crenshaw Teams Media. Playing against a player like Cheyenne Parker, what are some ways that you change the defense to play against a big player and a physical player like her?
We're kind of a 3-headed monster in the post, so they all have different strengths defensively. Azare has the most length for us. Again, De'Erica has a combination of both length and physicality, and then NECA is an elite defender, poker. She gets a ton of deflection. She doesn't stop working down there. So, again, kind of our motto is that we're going to rotate matchups with our 3-headed post monster with these talented post players around the league just to try to give them different looks. Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
And we're back here with your LA Sparks Weekly post-game show. We just got a chance to listen to head coach Kurt Miller talking about the 3-game winning streak. What did you take out of Coach's comments right now?
I took from Coach that he knew that he had a bunch of different positions that he had to play because of injuries and different players that he needed to play, he found a lineup that worked. And we've been running with this same lineup for the last 4 games, and they're finding some chemistry. That's what I took from
No, that's very good. And that's a good thing that he's actually now noticing that the chemistry is building. And I understand he had to deal with a lot of injuries, illnesses, and players missing games. And, of course, they went through that devastating 8-game losing streak right in the middle of the season during the All-Star break. They were able to pick it up, and that's one of the things he mentioned. He said, I'm just excited that I'm able to use my same lineups, because I guess at one point he had 16, 15 different starting lineups that led the WNBA league, which was just kind of crazy to go ahead and imagine something like that. But when we look at the play of Azurá Stevens as well, we look at the play of Layshia Clarendon as well. You know, ever since Layshia stepped onto the floor after the injury, the Sparks are 9-7. Coach even mentioned that, and it's just very impressive to see that Layshia, certain players do make a big difference on the court.
Absolutely, and Azurá Stevens is one of those players that you're talking about, right? Azurá didn't start off the season shooting exceptionally well from the three-point ball. She's really stepped up and stretched
She
the
was
floor.
1 for 1 tonight.
Hey, that 1 for 1 counts, and that field goal positivity, as well as her defensive aggressiveness, right? Coach talked a lot about Azurá being the longest player on the court, so she allows us to get some of those defensive rebounds in the paint and get some block shots and do some of those things defensively. So Azurá Stevens has been really, really important to the Sparks.
Especially the efficiency. You know, she shot 7 for 12 tonight, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Very good for her. And as well, one player that we always seem to talk about is Nneka Ogwumike. I mean, right now, I was really hoping that Nneka would pick up her 99th double-double tonight, which she was a few rebounds short of that. But right now, you look at Nneka, she got about 9 games remaining in the season. She should be in the conversation for MVP, which she's technically not due to the team success that, you know, they kind of have not been having this whole year. But do you really think that she might be playing a little better than A'ja? Even though A'ja is scoring 40 points, 30-some points, but you expect that from her every night.
Yeah, and A'ja has a lot of other players around her that are kind of those puzzle pieces.
They've been healthy all year long.
In my opinion, Nneka is the MVP because she's taken a team that has been rebuilding, that has configured, had a bunch of different, even harsher players. Remember, Henny was playing for us. So she's taken that team and continued to consistently score and to keep us close to being contenders for the playoffs, and that's why I think that Nneka is the MVP.
No, she definitely deserves every single vote, but I hope, you know, she at least gets, you know, not disrespected in a way towards the end of the year, because a lot of the speculation out there, I believe we posted a picture of it on our Instagram. Of course, follow us on Instagram at LA Sparks Weekly, but there was a few comments down there that were like, oh, well, you know, she don't really deserve to be in the conversation, but she definitely deserves to be in the conversation because she has been in the starting lineup for almost 95% of the season
playing
long.
40 minutes a game. No injuries. She stayed injury-free. Kurt Miller talked about how she also takes care of her body and has been a person who has been dealing with her own, you know, body management and making sure she doesn't get injured so that she can continue to be here for the team. Nneka, standing ovation.
Yes, definitely. I mean, everyone stand up and give Nneka a standing ovation.
That's right.
There's a few people right now standing. But we're going to go ahead and take it to the players right now. We got a chance to talk to Jordan Canada and Layshia Clarendon right after the game, and this is what they had to say.
This is kind of for both of you here. You know, over the past couple wins, Coach has been talking about, you know, you guys having a really grit and a determination, a toughness, you know, and a physicality, especially, you know, tonight in the second half. You know, with the injuries and the absences that you've had this year, you know, is that kind of like the identity that you guys are forming a little bit, and, you know, to be able to compete in games, just, you know, to have that physicality and to have that toughness there, you know, like what have you guys seen, you know, from that?
Yeah, I would say we've maybe been forced to, but it's an identity I want to have. I think JC too, as the type of players that we are, is to have that grit and that aggressiveness, that toughness, the things that help you, you know, grind out wins like you saw us do against Indiana, and then tonight we just kept our foot on the pedal. So the injuries have very much put our backs against the wall and beat us down and drug us through the mud and forced us, like, time and time again to really be gut checked this season and see how much, you know, willingness we have to get back up and keep fighting.
Hey, Layshia. You're having a hell of a week offensively. Is there like a thought to like just get more aggressive, to take more shots this week? Or not this week, but, you know, like as of late, you've been doing that.
I think just finding a rhythm, in the back half of coming off the injury, especially trying to help JC when she's on the ball and playing so many minutes and having to be a scorer from the point guard position. So I think some of it's just being that spot-up three-point shooter. But then tonight I felt good, like, okay, I do know how to drive. I am a player who gets downhill, but just finding that rhythm of playing both on and off the ball.
Hey, Jordan and Lasia, DJ Trice, Infanity TV. We saw both of y'all on the ground today. Can you talk about the physicality of the play? What was it like today playing against an aggressive Atlanta Dream?
Well, I'm always on the ground, so that's nothing new to me. But, yeah, just, teams are going to be aggressive against us. We see that, and I think that's the identity, like what Lay is saying, that we're forced to be physical because teams are physical with us. But it's just about continuing to be aggressive, and that's what we did in the second half. We wanted to get to the line a little bit more and make them play defense. And so that was kind of like our mindset, just attacking the paint, drawing fouls, and creating opportunities for ourselves, which I think we did a better job in the second half.
Hey, Jordan, back here. Tonight, couple milestones for you: 800 career assists, 400 career rebounds. The assists primarily. You've been a playmaker for as long as I've watched you play basketball. How important is that one to you specifically in terms of just how much you've been able to accomplish here in this league?
I mean, it's a great accomplishment. I am a player that loves to get my teammates involved. And so just to come out here day in and day out and get my teammates the ball and making sure I'm putting them in positions to score and just creating for them, that's my job as a point guard, but that's also my identity and what I love to do. So, I'm very thankful to reach that milestone, and, I want to keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, but, I'm thankful for these guys for making baskets because I couldn't do it without them.
Hey, JC, Fredo here. Talk to me a little bit about the confidence level of this team right now. Coming in the 3-game winning streak right now, heading to Vegas next Saturday. You guys got a whole week to prepare for Vegas, and how do you, take that upon?
I think we're finding our flow now, Unfortunately, it's coming towards the end of the season, but, we've had so much adversity up until this point. And I just think, we're continuing to find our flow and our chemistry. We're learning each other. We're playing off of each other. We're talking and communicating more, and you can see it in the 3 wins that we have. We're competing. We have the energy. We have the effort. And that's what it's all about. And we just want to continue this flow into next week. Obviously, we have the Commissioner Cup break, so we want to take some time to rest. And then, when we come back from our break, just regroup and making sure that we're still locked in and we're focused on these upcoming games that we have for the rest of the season.
Hello, Jesse from Crenshaw YMCA Teens Media. Great win, you guys. So after being down and then coming back, do you guys think you can improve on anything to keep the lead in your favor?
Just playing with, a poise. I think it was 5 minutes left in the game, and we're up maybe, 7 or something. Check the stats. But in that moment, it's just playing to win and not getting too tight and not getting too, sometimes the momentum can shift really quick. So it's just experience, learning how to, take the right shots at that time, slow the game down, but don't play timid. Still, you want to play aggressive even when you're trying to choke the game and have less possessions. And I think we're learning how to do that at the end of games.
Jessalyn Davis from the Crenshaw Teens Media. As a young girl with the dream of becoming a WNBA player, is there any advice that you have for me?
Oh, wow. I would say, it takes a tremendous amount of hard work to get to this place and dedication. It takes a lot of commitment over time to be anyone can work hard one day or anyone can go out and do the thing 1 or 2 days, but it's the doing your best every single day that's going to get you really far. And then I would say enjoy the ride too, and really have fun and don't ever lose sight of that childhood joy and the reason why you picked up a ball in the first place. We made it this far, and I love to play basketball. I have fun. So that's always my big advice. It's just don't lose sight of enjoying the game too.
Thank you.
And we're back here with your LA Sparks Weekly Post-Game Show. We just got a chance to listen to Layshia Clarendon and Jordan Canada. And right now, we did talk a little bit about Jordan Canada, how tremendous she played, but there's been a little bit of, drama off the court in Jordan Canada. And for her to come out the way she did tonight kind of just showed everyone, like, hey, let me focus on my game, and I'll focus on the outside notes a little later.
Oh, yeah, and she definitely made a statement. This was a loud statement by just using the craft of basketball to go in and solidify this win and put your team on top, going the extra mile. So JC is definitely still doing her thing, as always, being that anchor and that rock for the Sparks.
So let's talk a little bit about your player of the game. You did bring up the player of the game, and I believe you picked Nneka Ogwumike, correct?
I picked Nneka.
I mean, you couldn't go wrong with that pick.
I couldn't go wrong, and honestly, she would have had that double-double. I'm glad you said that because she got hard fouled a lot.
Yes.
She didn't get a couple of calls that would have kind of put her in those extra rebounds, some over-the-back kind of things that were happening. So I'm holding true to my player of the game being Nneka.
There it is, and I did go with Azurá Stevens. I picked Azurá just because she's been very consistent on both sides of the floor. She did play today. She played roughly about 32 minutes, which is very good for her, and most of the Sparks played around the same average, scoring 15 points, 8 rebounds for her. So that was my pick of the game. It seemed like we both were a little outside the player of the game because Jordan Canada should be player of the game with her tremendous play. And, of course, if it wasn't for her energy and her play style out there, because her playmaking is on another level.
Yeah, even those assists. Like, she hit the career milestone, well-deserved today. This has been a great game for the Sparks, and hopefully we can keep this momentum up in a week when the Sparks will be playing the Las Vegas Aces. So we will be taking a quick week off for the Commissioner's Cup, but y'all make sure y'all keep it locked on the LA Sparks Weekly page and channel. Follow us on Instagram, like, share, subscribe on YouTube. It's been DJ Trice, and of course I'm here with Fredo Cervantes. Thank y'all so much for joining in, and we'll see y'all next game.
Yes, sir.